Law Simplified with Justice, the new informative, educative, and thought-provoking program is what you need to keep abreast with law and politics. This exciting and truly refreshing program is anchored by Justice Maduforo, a solicitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a soul-searching discussion here with my colleague. We've been dissecting sole responsibility under the individual rule, those under 18 and those above 18 years of age as well.
Law Simplified with Justice understands that law is a powerful driver to human behavior. It is therefore poised to simplify the law and get you to take action.
Bring it to your doorstep and simplified the way that you will understand.
Contact Justice by calling 07931 727 597 or email lawsimplifiedwithjustice@yahoo.co.uk. Law Simplified with Justice, bringing the best to the audience.
Over the course of my practice as a solicitor, I've come to deal with matters where people say, I'm not aware that this is with me. Obviously, I'm impressed with what you said, that each cases are dealt with individually. Now, they say, and they always give this, and said, I didn't know it was with me. I didn't know that this document, I didn't know what about it. I didn't know how it came about. I didn't know who produced it. Now, is that, as you rightly said, is that sufficient to deal with the defense here? Obviously, you will have to go deeper to deal with the issue of the defense.
In my opinion, you have to go deeper, yes.
You have to go deeper.
I think you're going to have difficulties if you're just going to say, I didn't know, and you've got a passport, for example, with your picture on it, but a passport which is a forgery, which was not, shall we say, made by the Nigerian passport authorities, if it was a Nigerian passport, and you bought it, let's say, for a sum of money from someone in a pub or from a snack bar or something like that, then I think you will be really struggling to make out that sort of defence.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'd just add that, as Mike was saying, there are two offences. There's the simple offence, and then there's the offence with intent, where you try and establish a registrable fact by using the document. The two offences are different, and the penalties between the two are very different. The simple offence maximum is 2 years, and you've got a reasonable chance of not going to prison.
When you say 2 years, we're talking about 2 years.
2 years in imprisonment, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the maximum for the other is much higher, is 10 years.
10 years, which is the one of establishing yourself, or the other part of the possession itself.
Yes.
The 10 years one you mentioned now.
Yes, but in reality, the offence, the sort of sentences people would be looking at, should they plead guilty, would be somewhere between, in certain cases, around 6 months, and in other cases between 12 and 18 months.
Right. On that note, honestly, it is, it's very disheartening when I deal with matters like this, and some suspects seem not to understand that it's a matter that can take them to prison. When you mention the fact that this is a matter that is straightway custodial, and they seem not to understand that. On that point alone, Mike, do you think that any such offence, whether the simpler one or the more serious offence, can either be dealt with without imprisonment?
I think on rare occasions it can be dealt with without imprisonment. If you persuade the judge that you just have it for an exceptional reason, such as your driving licence expired, you couldn't travel back to Europe to get one renewed. A friend offered you one which you realised would be false, but it would do the job for the time being until you got the time to go home and apply and wait for the week or two for it to be returned to you.
Right. So you're saying in such scenario, there's tendency of the court avoiding custodial sentence?
It's possible in that, yes, to avoid it. The judge might say, well, community work or a suspended sentence.
Right. Okay, that's fine. You see,
can I make another point where I think about
that's
it?
Right.
Just when I think about
that's
it.
That's correct.
There's one other thing, of course, that although it's always very serious for somebody to receive a prison sentence, at the moment, one of the problems is that if the sentence is over 12 months imprisonment, then you're liable for automatic removal from the country if you're a foreign resident.
That's correct. That's another good point.
And so by keeping it under that amount, at least you save that second problem.
Absolutely. That's another point there. We'll come to the point if the judge makes a direction. It's automatic now. The judge doesn't need to make any directions to that.
Doesn't need to say a word.
It's automatically. So once it's over 12 months, automatic deportation applies, irrespective of the person's. That's where immigration comes in now. But we'll deal with that in the next basis. Now, we dealt with the issue of ID cards, possession of ID cards. Now, the question also people may want to know is that, is there any other thing that can come in under this act that will show that offense has been committed under the ID card act? Obviously, we talked about possession, we talked about somebody using an ID card to register the person, is there any other offense or act one can say that can come in under this Identity Cards Act, of which one say offense has not been committed, other than Identity Cards Act, identity cards, somebody using ID cards to establish himself? Is there any other document in any other form that one can say offense has been committed, having possession of that?
It's possible, yes. The old legislation is still there under the Forgery and Counterfeiting Act. And has been there for 30 years, and of course, and so you can still be caught under other pieces of legislation.
Right.
But the reality is that if you are caught by the police trying to get a job, trying to come into the country, you're going to be prosecuted under this act, under the Identity Card Act.
Right. Something just came up to my mind to ask that as well. We're not talking about documents here. A situation where, let's say, for instance, we dealt with a lot of Department of Work and Pension prosecuted matters. One has now, put forward false information in order to obtain one benefit or the other. Although it's written on a document. Does it come under the Identity Cards Act here, or quite a different matter altogether? When somebody has forged certain, documents or information, for instance, to obtain benefit for himself or herself or whoever, either conspiring or directly benefiting from it. Does it come under this act? It's quite a different act altogether. I mean, it just came up to me to really put that through there.
Yeah, it can come under forgery and counterfeiting. It could come under false accounting, simply where you misrepresent details about your eligibility for benefits.
Right. Those who
And of course, you always have a problem, potentially, if you use a false identification card to establish your right to a benefit. Then you could fall foul of one or two acts at the same time. You could give the authorities a choice.
Right.
You could. I think the thing is that the authorities tend to go for certain sections of certain acts because that's what they've always done. And so I can't remember the name of the act, embarrassingly, but it's Section 111 and Section 112, and there is a strict liability offence, and there's one where knowledge has to be proved by the prosecution, and that's Social Security Act. Yes. Well done.
Right. Thank you.
And of course,
thank you for that.
And of course, the second one is it leads to potentially a higher penalty.
That's a very good one. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure most of you will be thinking, what exactly are they saying here? Yes, put it in a nutshell to you, we've been dissecting this Identity Cards Act. Those that are serious, the less serious, as my guests have obviously opined in respect to this offence committed, which is Identity Cards Act. The reason why we deem it fit to bring this topic here is because as over the period of practice, quite a lot of them keep coming up. And I thought it's very important to bring this to educate viewers as well, and to get you to take action. And if you are passing through this, or haven't already passed through this, friends passing through this, need some advice on this, take the number on the screen, and the telephone number, the email, and you can call us.
Law Simplified with Justice, the new informative, educative, and thought-provoking program is what you need to keep abreast with law and politics. This exciting and truly refreshing program is anchored by Justice Maduforo, a solicitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a soul-searching discussion here with my colleague. We've been dissecting sole responsibility under the individual rule, those under 18 and those above 18 years of age as well.
Law Simplified with Justice understands that law is a powerful driver to human behavior. It is therefore poised to simplify the law and get you to take action.
Bring it to your doorstep and simplify it the way that you will understand.
Contact Justice by calling 07931 727 597 or email lawsimplifiedwithjustice@yahoo.co.uk. Law Simplified with Justice, bringing the best to the audience.